YouTube channel, BeingFrank here. Today on this special video, I'm going to let you know what BeingFrank is all about, and mainly what made or what necessitated I'm going to introduce to you the reason why BeingFrank was started in the first place and how it came to be born. For me to do this, I'll have to share my story. This is one of the reasons why I took so much time before doing this video, because it's part of I'm exposing who I really am. I'm giving my story to people, and somehow most of us are not so much at ease doing such thing. So that's why it took some time. I had to think it over, because BeingFrank is something that started as a personal journey, and that's why it started. So for me to be able to show you that, as just like I said, I have to share my story. My life started back when I was born, of course. That's when life starts, and that was back in 1992, on a Monday morning of April 1992. This guy was born in the suburbs of Mare County, and then I went to school just like most of us. I was not at the top of the class, neither was I at the bottom of the class. I went through school having some hardships, of course, then here and there. And just to digress a little bit, most of my story I'll just summarize it. I'll just give it in a nutshell, just to show why BeingFrank exists. Okay, so I said I went to school, finished my primary school, went to high school, and one of the reasons that BeingFrank came to start in the first place, it's a moment I had back in high school. That one you'll have to hang around for longer for me to reveal it to you. But one thing that I can tell you is that most of your talents or most of your gifts will come up wrapped in sandpaper. Okay, so I finished my high school education. I didn't get a very good grade, but I was so ambitious. I wanted to do engineering. So with my not so good grades, I managed to squeeze myself into a telecommunication engineering class. I was very poor in mathematics in high school, but I went for it. I did my engineering. It was actually, mathematics became the easiest thing that I've ever done in school. That was back in 2010, 2011, 2013, 2014. I graduated and I passed very well with my engineering course. So back then, I've always had there's that God-given gift that I have, that I really wanted to find out what it is, so that maybe I can make it a career. I can make a career out of it, instead of just struggling through school, doing things that doesn't come naturally to me. And I've always wanted to know what is my purpose on this world, or rather, what is my gift, what is my talent. I tried playing basketball. Okay, I'm good in basketball, yes, but I'm not the best. I didn't make it to the NBA, and that's why. If I made it to the NBA, I could say that I'm good in basketball. Yes, I can play basketball, but I'm not good in basketball. So I tried so many other things. Singing, okay, I love singing. Yes, I can sing, but I'm not the best. So I tried so many other things. I loved engineering, I loved technology, but still, I'm not the best in engineering. So I really wanted to know what it is. So after college, I got my first job being paid 7,000. That was back in 2014, when there was this digital migration thing. I was working with GoTV, MultiChoice Kenya. Thank you to my friend who gave me this job, because he had seen the future already and he had started something on his own. Back then, when I was working with the MultiChoice Kenya, that's when I started asking myself some very quality questions. And another moment happened, that I happened to read a book by Robert Kiyosaki that is called The Cash Flow Quadrant. Okay, I used to see people reading books about finances, these self-help books, and I somehow thought there were people with some issues in their lives, and maybe it was just a recommendation from a therapist or someone that prompted them to read such a book. Okay, I used to read novels, the romance novels, you know them. Those were the books that I could read at best. So when I read that book, it was just out of, I had nothing much to do. So I read it out of having nothing much to do. But when I read this book, it opened up my mind. I've always wondered, why are there poor people in this world, and why are they rich people? And you find, when you dig deeper, is that these poor people and the rich people, they have nothing different from each other. So I really wanted to know what is the difference between these two. And when I read this book called The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, oh my God, my mind was open. It was like a light bulb went on in my head, and then I kind of got a glimpse of why. Because he was explaining how rich people think differently from the poor people. So it changed my kind of thinking. So back then, I was working at a job that I used to be paid 7K. So that's when I really went outside my comfort zone, really hustled and got a better job. But now still, this was a job now in my area of, it was now in the area of my course rather. I had big dreams about my job. I thought my first job that I get, the opening job after college, I'll be paid not less than 50,000 Kenyan shillings, because someone told me that the market price that qualified and well-educated engineers like me, or rather technicians like me, are not paid less than 50K. So that was my expectation when I went to my first job. But now, when it came to negotiating the salary that I will be paid, I was paid, okay, they offered me 17,500, which was later to be, it was discussed upwards to 19,500. So that's when my dreams came crashing down for me, because I thought that once I do this engineering course and get the job in the field, I'll be much better than if I did some other courses. These are the simple courses like okay, I won't mention anyone, but I thought that engineering would change my life. But then I realized it's just like any other course. And again, after working there for quite some time, I didn't get that job satisfaction that I expected to get. And then after working for 2 years, it reached a point that I had to really struggle to get out of bed for me to go to work. So if something starts feeling like work to me, that's just a sign that it's not meant to be done by me. So back then I started like looking around to see what else I can do apart from this job. Okay, I never thought that I could really quit like I did. That's story yet to come. But I started looking for things I can do online, maybe part-time businesses, and that's when I stumbled upon a business called network marketing. Maybe most of you watching these videos have your own conceptions about the industry, you have your own perceptions, you have your own opinions. They are all welcome. I had mine. And actually when I found this network marketing business, and thank you to, okay, I won't mention the company, but once I found this business, it really opened my mind further. That was like maybe close to a year after getting to my job. So back then, I researched more about the industry, read a lot about it on YouTube, on Google. Google is my friend, by the way. Most of the things I've done in my life through Google and YouTube, yes, they are my friends. So this industry completely changed my life. I was introduced to something we call personal development. And by the way, in my videos, I'll be talking of mentors, and there's another new term. I don't know if it's an English word, but it's my word. I use it. I call them telementors. So when you hear me talk about a telementor, this is someone who mentors me, but they don't know me, and I just know them from maybe YouTube. We have never met. They are people from far away, so I call them telementors, okay? People mentoring me from afar. So one of my telementors also introduced me to something we call Can I. Actually, the guy's name is Anthony Robbins. He called it constant and never-ending improvement. He said that the people who perform, or rather become successful in life, are the people who chose to improve themselves with never, okay, their education never stops. Unlike the 844 that we used to, that you go to school, after some point you graduate. For people who do extremely well in life, they know that learning is a journey that never ends. So they engage themselves in what we call constant and never-ending improvement. So that's when I came to learn that if I put my mind into something and really focus on developing myself in that area, I can become good at it. And if I can become good at it, it means that I can become great in it. And if I can become great in it, it means that I'm successful in that thing. So that thing really changed my life. And thank you to network marketing, because it introduced me to reading books, listening to tapes from these people who have already made it in life, following them on YouTube, following them on the social media, using the law of association. My mind was transformed. My favorite book says, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So my mind was renewed. I started kind of a journey of self-discovery. So at some point, I reached out to core personal development, like, okay, I can say that I'm developing personally, but now I came to find there's a part of me that is missing, spiritual development. So I started a spiritual journey to discover more about to understand the real me, the person that I am, that is living in this body that you can see. So when I went on this journey, that's when I started learning that there are things that I came to this world to specifically do, something that I can do that if I don't do, nobody else will. And that's what we call purpose. So my spiritual journey started. I got to that point that I can say that I've started to discover my purpose. And remember, I said that there's a moment in high school that my gift was kind of given a glimpse to me, but it came wrapped in a sandpaper that actually I could have mistaken it for something that I can't do, because I came to realize that my purpose in this world is to encourage, inspire, teach, guide, and help people or motivate people to take action in their lives and do something bigger than what they can see themselves doing. So this means that I love to talk to people. So I like talking to people. So it means that I can talk. And I can talk. That's one thing I can assure you. So back in high school, there's that kind of experience that I had. I remember so well. Okay, I don't know if I should share this with you right now, or I should hold it for a later date. But anyway, let me just share it, for the sake of this video and for the sake of you understanding why BeingFrank came to be formed. So back in high school, I remember when I was still a mono in Form 1, my first term in school, there was some friends that we are in the same school. They are my neighbor back in Shags. They're just close neighbors who used to go to the same church, and they were ahead of me. I can call them my elder brothers. So one of them, back then he was in Form 4 and I was in Form 1. So I want to say hi to them. And I remember very well, when I was leaving, I said something that, okay, I just told him that I'm going to sleep. But now let me say it how I said it so that you know why I say that that my gift came to me wrapped in sandpaper. Okay? So when I was telling him that I'm going to sleep, I used Kiswahili. So I was supposed to say something like, okay, acha mimi niende nikalale. But now there was a problem. And the problem was that I had this Kimeru accent. Yeah, by Temurome. Most of you know it. So oh my. So what I said, instead of saying acha nikalale, I said acha nikarare. So for people who understand, the people from around Mount Kenya region, somehow we don't have a differentiation between L and R. So for me, I said, instead of L, I put R. For the first time, I was so much humiliated in front of people, because this guy, there's a neighbor, okay, it's not my friend who did that to me. He's another guy who was one of the bullies of the school. So this guy laughed and laughed and laughed, and then calling everyone, saying, come and see what this mono is saying. Iti acha nikafanye nini, acha nikarare. Nilichekelewa. So as in they made fun of me. They made fun of me. Okay, at least the manager didn't cry. Oh, okay. That's a story for another day. I used to be a crybaby, but anyway, a story for another day. So, but I remember back in my mind telling me, okay, You see, I grew up in a public school. Okay, primary school, I went to a public school where sometimes our English teacher could even teach us in Kimeru. Imagine your English teacher teaching you in your mother tongue. So I realized that the problem was not me. It was my upbringing and the environment that I grew up in. But I made a decision back then. It was just out of, okay, I don't know how to explain it, but I said that I'm going to improve, and one day, I'm going to get better in my speech, and this Kimeru accent thing will get out of my life. So I can't say that I completely got it out of me, because that's part of who I am, but I can say at least it has improved. So back then, if I was to be told that I speak to people like my passion or like my purpose on this earth, that's something that I could have refuted very, very quickly. But you can see at the end of the day, here I am talking to you. So being frank is that out of the few years I've lived in this world, I've come to realize that there are so many lies that are pushed into our heads about life, about what life should be, about what life is, and about what we should be. So I've realized there's so much lies, things that the world make you believe that are not you. So for me, being frank, it started like a personal slogan that I want to be frank with myself, that things can be what I perceive them to be and what God says that they should be for me. But now I later came to understand that being frank can be something bigger apart from myself, that everyone else can be frank with their own lives and be frank with the world, and be frank with everyone around, how things work. Okay, so being frank is about being frank and finding your own truth. I found my own truth. I thought engineering was my thing, but now engineering didn't satisfy me as a person. You understand? I thought that I could never speak in front of people. Nowadays, in my network marketing business, it gave me a platform to talk to people. I've talked in front of thousands of people. Okay, I don't know if it's 1,000, but at least hundreds of people. And I made sense in front of those people, and then I didn't engage my Kimeru accent, you see. So I'm on the process of finding my truth, being frank with me, and as I'm doing that, I want to engage just an extra person, even just one more person, to be frank with their own lives and to find their own truth, to find their own voice, to find their own brand. That's what I'm passionate about. So being frank is about finding the truth about ourselves, about the world, about relationships, about spirituality, about our finances, about our social life, and everything that concerns we as human beings. So that's what being frank is about. And that's why our mission is to educate to one's abundance and prosperity. So that's my story in a nutshell. Okay, with time it will make more sense. Okay, I know I didn't bring everything out, but I'm hoping that step by step, kidogo kidogo tu, tutafika hapo with time. So, but for now, this is just to introduce to you. That's why being frank is here, to help us to understand, to find our truths, and to find what life is all about. That was it for today. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video. Great content coming your way, so stay tuned. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that we notify you every time we post a video, and share this content with a friend that might need to hear this story. So it is a great pleasure to talk to you, and I'm looking forward to the future. Thank you so much.